you know that you can get hacked on your AI operation with nothing but emojis. Pakistani hackers figured out a methodology on how to send basically emojis to certain chatbots that triggers basically a prompt type something. As an example, they end up sending two key emojis and then putting a skull sign and a grave sign emojis basically means kill the key, and the agent actually executes it. And those are some of the things that we are not really still comprehending. I'm trying to use the correct word. We don't really comprehend properly what the Gen AI can do.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Manoj Tandon. Welcome to another episode of Dark Rhino Security Confidential. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us out quite a bit with the algorithms, and it allows you to keep bringing you guys great guests. So appreciate a little bit of love. And we have a fantastic guest for you today. He is Mr. Yagub Rahimov. He is the CEO and founder of Polygraf. It's an AI security company that builds AI application firewalls and small language models, contrary to LLMs. But these small language models are guardrails for enterprises and government, and they help organizations control what data can go into LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, etc., whatever your internal chatbot may be. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Welcome to the show, Yagub. Really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you. I really love your energy. I think we're going to have lots of fun today.
Yeah, we are. Give us a little bit about your background. We were talking a little bit off camera, but give us a little bit about your history. How did you get into this business?
So the cat is kind of out of the box. Like I once, one of the podcasts mentioned that my close friends call me Mr. Paranoid. And at the beginning I was thinking that maybe it's actually an insult, and the more I'm thinking it's actually a good thing because I can be paranoid for my network so that they don't need to be paranoid. So
Okay.
that's kind of the thing forward for me. Like I was born in Azerbaijan, and in early 2000s I was sponsored by the US State Department as an exchange student in California. That's the
Wow.
first time when I was introduced to technology. I got introduced to technology, fell in love with finance, went back home and started trading, made very good money on it. In fact, actually earned a couple of times the best trader of the year award, etc.
Wow.
And dropped out of college as well because that's what you do when you're a young, dumb
Yes.
kid
Especially
thinking
when
that
you're
you.
a young, successful person. I mean, you
So
have very good company. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. So to
I
name a
still
few.
have a lot to do till I get there, but yeah. So dropped out of college, ended up somehow being pushed to go back to college. I actually got a scholarship by the presidential administration of Azerbaijan, saying that you got to go to army or you got to go to college. I said I'm going to go to college, sir. And I went to the Netherlands, dropped out of college again, and started my first official company, trying to fight against trading related scams. Built actually one of the first ever social trading platforms.
Wow.
Sold it the same year, grew it from there on, joined the brokerage, uh, played a very important role on making them become the world's, at that time, second largest brokerage with $178 billion monthly turnover.
Wow.
Um, yeah, left the company 18 months after to build my second company called Seven Markets, which became quickly Seven Markets group of companies. And inside it, we did lots of more machine learning stuff. Like we built actually the algorithm to detect the fake news back in 2017, the first algo to identify sentiment related mechanism in the market for crypto industry and the commodities market and so on. We became an OpenAI partner back in the day, and we worked with Google DeepMind and so on and so forth. And in 2020, I actually got stuck in the US. In fact, where is it? You can see the South by Southwest award somewhere here.
Yeah.
I came in 2020 to speak at South by Southwest in Austin, and that event, if you know, did not really happen because 3 days after I landed here, they canceled
COVID.
the event, they canceled the world, they canceled the country.
Yep.
My company got acquired. I just got stuck here. Well, initially I got stuck here, and then my company got acquired, to be more precise.
Sounds like the tough life.
Yeah.
I got to ask, with your knowledge base and your immense success in the financial sector, you should be out there running a hedge fund. Why would you want to get involved with tech? You could make billions and billions. You already know that, especially given the volatility in the energy market right now. You could
Let
make,
me try to get a little closer. You see all of these things? I'm not even
yeah.
40. Uh, so one thing answer on that side, Manoj. I like making money, but I like making money by doing good, by adding value, not just making money for the sake of it.
See, that's very noble. And there's not a lot of people out there that think that way. So it's such a great explanation, and I hope our audience takes inspiration from a very successful person like yourself and understands that in their own endeavor, I think money is a byproduct of value in many ways, right? If you're able to deliver the value in whatever your chosen profession is, the financial success usually follows in some way, shape, or form,
Absolutely.
right? So switching gears to SLMs and AI application firewalls. So first of all, for our audience, what is an application firewall? What exactly is an AI application firewall?
We
And why do we
actually
care?
don't, we actually internally don't call it AI application firewall, Manoj. We call it
Okay.
AI BC, AI behavioral control plane.
Okay.
Um,
That seems like an oxymoron in some ways, AI behavior control. That's because it's a probabilistic system. It's not deterministic. Yeah.
it is actually yes and no question. We are not
Okay.
saying behavior, it's behavioral. So when it comes to security, one thing that you probably would agree with me, and if you don't, uh, we have a problem, Houston, in a way. uh, the thing is that 96% of the cyber failures are not because of technology issues.
Oh,
Uh,
please continue. You're
uh,
preaching. Go for it.
so it's human mistakes, right? The user mistake. Let's eliminate the word human. Let's call
And
it
you're sure it's
user.
only 96%, not 98% or 99%?
I'm referring to what IBM said for the last year.
Okay. We're on the same page.
All right. And I'll add even extra on that side. 24% of the all failures are because of a human negligence or unawareness,
Yep.
right? People just, that's why every company spends millions of dollars on training their employees. Uh, and for us, that's the main focus that we are actually focusing on. Not only we provide the security elements behind the scene for the engine to stop, let's say, that privileged data going to some AI such as ChatGPT or your meeting note taker, etc. But also making it visible. Like simple thing as you're doing a Google Translate and you're putting a client communication, let's say you're speaking to a Japanese client and putting something in there. As you type, you think that it's normal, but it's Google Translate itself right now is an AI solution,
Sure.
right? So the data is moving out of your environment. So how do you make Yagub know that, hey, Yagub, do not put that Japanese client data on Google Translate in the name of translation? Which part should I not do that? So for us, what we do is we also, have you used Grammarly before?
Yeah.
So similar to Grammarly, what does Grammarly do? When you are grammar-wise incorrect or failing, it shows you underlining, right?
Yeah.
So
And it will
we
give you options,
exactly.
suggestions. Right.
There you go. So similar with that mindset, but the major difference is that Grammarly is collecting all the data somewhere else in someone else's their own infrastructure.
Sure.
We deploy set of operational tools on your infrastructure. And if that infrastructure is your laptop, on that laptop as well, where as you're typing on Google Translate, ChatGPT, Cloud, anywhere, real time you get to see what you are failing in from compliance perspective. Before you have pressed that enter as you are typing it.
So here's a question there.
Mhm.
Aren't most companies are on an enterprise account with Claude, ChatGPT, or OpenAI, or whatever their favorite LLM is? Don't the terms of that license agreement prevent those organizations from using that data, sharing it, and training their LLMs? That's in the legal language.
Let me even add more onto your conviction a little more. What if you are
Please.
actually utilizing a local LLM, meaning that it's an open source something you have deployed it locally in your own
Yeah, could do
infrastructure?
that.
So does that mean that you should not have an AI security in your own environment?
No, very much should have AI security in that scenario, especially.
Well, in every scenario you need to have it because AI is like an a very smart IQ level person, but very naive in real world experiences environment where it can be tricked into doing things as well,
Oh yeah.
aka infiltration, prompting, jailbreaking, and so on. So security is not just selecting what data is, and I'll come back to your initial comment why enterprise license does not really mean secure license neither. Um, so for us, we are not looking at AI behavioral control just from privacy level one thing. It's a holistic approach, like your language as an example. If your organization just supposed to be operating in English, you should not let other language level infiltration potential come into your own environment. I've, as an example, in the past, took down a major multi-million dollar Gen AI solution. I speak a few languages, which some of them appear to be English, Spanish, Turkish, and so on and so forth. So in this live environment, I just went and I took the prompt that they said that no one can basically put in. I just put the first two, three words in English, another one in Spanish, and the other ones in Turkish. It gave me what the data they were saying that I cannot get out of that. So with such an environment, we are basically looking at the language, we are looking at the prompt infiltration level, we are looking at toxicity, we are looking at topic controls. Like in your own environment, as an example, your legal team has certain privileges for certain documents, your HR has certain documents,
Yeah.
your marketing has certain documents, your sales has certain. You're not going to go give your sales your HR documents unrestricted. You need to be controlling it, access controls and so on. So all of it needs to come up in a local environment. But at the same time, let's say Manoj is HR manager and Yagub is an employee. Manoj is supposed to see everyone's, social security, etc., from compliance perspective.
Yeah.
But Yagub should not be able to see what Manoj is doing it or John does over there. But I'm supposed to be able to handle what is mine, what belongs to me. So the engine, the behavioral control that we are talking about, gives all of these access controls based on the user, based on the vision, based on the company policies, etc. in there, and showing it to the user. Now, why is it that it's important to show it to the user? When we show it to the person, like similar to Grammarly, a person that starts using Grammarly, even though did not really have great grammar background, maybe non-native English speaker like myself, um, as they start using it within like 6, 7, 8 months, their grammar actually substantially start
Goes way up.
increasing
Yeah, it does.
because it's a subliminal training mechanism, right? Now, compliance level, the same thing. When we provide Polygraf AIBC desktop overlay specifically to our clients, we see not only their AI security increase, but their traditional DLP. DLP stands for data leak
Data loss
prevention.
prevention. Yeah, and there's
The
a lot of
data
DLP tools out there that specialize that.
Yeah, the last example that we deployed in a public transport group, within 3, 4 months of operating with them, their DLP violations went down by 72%. So let that sink in, 72% less DLP violation. And this is not even requiring integration, that part. It's just based on the policies that has been assigned to you as you're typing in any application. AI, non-AI, doesn't matter. It gets to show you, Yagub, don't put, I don't know, your employee ID number onto that Google Drive file, or don't share this and that.
So now,
Uh,
does it come up as a suggestion, or is it actually being Big Brother and blocking that action altogether?
it can do both. So we try when we are first trying to enter somewhere, we don't do the blockages. We just give them a color-coded environments. It's red for completely no, no, hell knows, and yellow for confidential, but it's up to you to share environments, and no highlight is good. That itself reduces the DLP violations, by the way.
But okay, let's say I'm a surgeon and I'm
Mhm.
creating my surgery report, which every surgeon does after post-operation, and they're using ChatGPT to help them speed it up. They necessarily are going to need to put in what may be deemed data that is violating all kinds of things to actually accomplish that task. Or another one would be an attorney
Let's
who,
actually go on the HIPAA side, because HIPAA side has lots of financial
sure,
burdens on
okay,
every. So on that side, it's actually going to be tokenizing every document, every prompt, every data that goes in line with the HIPAA policies. So the tokenized, anonymized data then goes to the LLM of the choice that the party is utilizing, including the documents. I want to repeat again. And when the data comes back from the LLM, the tokenized anonymized version, the LLM, the Polygraf's SLMs basically reconstruct the anonymized data and show it to you as if the data went there. So all of these anonymization happen locally on your device level, on your infrastructure level. As me as a surgeon in your example, I get to do everything normal. Like that's the main thing that we are trying honestly to bring onto the table. Every other security platform says that, hey, surgeon, you cannot put that patient name in there, therefore the engine will return a no. Or
yep,
we're just gonna give everything as is, and then you're up to yourself and the HIPAA policies, right? We think, we not only think, we have full conviction that that's wrong. A surgeon should be focusing on the job itself, the main activity. The surgeon should not go ahead and try to learn how to be compliant with everything either. So by doing it visually, showing that, okay, this is the section, the date of birth, you put the full date of birth, we're going to take out the first month and the date and leave the year in there, because AI needs to know the year for the patient so that it can build the mindset around it. It's going to go there, and you put the full location of the place of birth as an example. But AI also needs to know which state you are in so that it can build the potential things. But the street name, etc., are not are in compliant elementation. I'm just giving an example. You've put
yeah.
the social security number. Social security should be tokenized on the front, and the last four digits should be enabled to it. You upload all of it to the AI, and engage with it. And when the AI returns back, you see still the full date of birth. You still see the full address. You still see the full social security and everything else. And but you can see that if you hover on it, you will see which part was eliminated from AI. And by doing so, by the way, the knowledge does not get degraded. I don't want to be making like too much of promotional commentary here, but our conviction overall here, Manoj, is let's empower the end users so that they can take why do we use AI? What is the one point? It's productivity. And if I'm going to be stopping that productivity in the name of the security and I don't know, regulation, etc., I'm actually killing that productivity. Let's actually unleash the beast in a way. Let's go get the best out of it possible.
So then I guess a CISO might come back and say, that's great, Polygraph, that you're doing this. But who's watching you? How do I know that you're seeing this data? And how do I know you're in compliance? You have the actual patient's date of birth. You know where they were born. You know what street they lived on. You know all of that.
I don't
So,
have access to your infrastructure. We deploy in your own environment. Like we don't have any access to any client data, period. There is
oh, so
zero.
you're not functioning in the cloud.
No, we purely run on the client's own infrastructure.
So I'm curious about the training on these SLMs. Is this like the training of an LLM in many ways, where it's a huge time crunch, huge power consumption, huge compute requirements? Educate us. We're not familiar with the space.
uh, I'm not gonna share the full caveat around it, but as I'll give you an example. We recently introduced Polygraph for Japanese language.
Okay.
Uh, I went for the first time to Japan in December, just before Christmas. We met 8 companies in there, and few of them said that if you gave us in Japanese language, we would like to buy it. I told them that give me 2 months and we'll be back with you. Because of the Christmas and so on so forth, that 2 months was a little too ambitious because our team was, we also are human beings. We want to celebrate it and so on. But in
Sure.
March, we introduced Japanese language model. In the
Wow.
Japanese language model that we introduced, by the way, our delta, this is still our um, experimental model that we've introduced. Uh, and yet with that, our delta became 46% with the second best solution in the market. That means that privileged data discovery engine that we built and provided became 46% more accurate than the existing best solution in the market in there. So why am I doing this? It took us 2 H100s and 3 weeks of training uh, on our own environment, which is not that difficult. But the main thing is the methodology that we are utilizing. So we can deliver a retrained model within 3 to 5 weeks period in general, when
Okay.
we have to deliver it fast. And in defense world, as an example, or government world, that's considered to be unbelievable because
Oh, yeah.
when you sign something, they're like, we have a project that we just got the the base preparation is 12 months period. So doing it in 3 to 5 weeks is really, really fast. And the last thing is that these SLMs, by the way, run purely on CPU and RAM. That's another thing that we need, why we are utilizing, because we understand that average hospital, average bank, average, I don't know, government group, etc. They don't have stacks of H100s and or A100s just lying
No, they don't.
around. In fact, actually, you should see some of them are still using, 2008, 2010 Pentiums,
Sure.
the devices. So our engine is designed to be handled in resource constrained environment. That means low computation and low energy consumption. So today, as an example, our privacy engine will run 40 to 80 megabytes of RAM usage only per device.
It's nothing.
So
Yeah.
when you unlock your iPhone, it consumes over 250 megabytes of RAM
Sure.
just unlocking it. So it's super fast, super low computation. And I think we are going to end up going on that direction. Our focus is put security on every handheld device, every IoT device. Why should we say, and I really disagree, by the way, Manoj, with everybody who says that, but that company's enterprise policy. I don't care about that enterprise policy. Can that company access my data?
Yeah.
Right? If the answer is yes, that when that company gets to be hacked, then we are doomed. Why should I actually put my resources in or on the hands of the decision of some third party in the name of black and white something? And we believe that that's really, really wrong. And enterprises, government groups, and even everyday Joes, they need to have their full, disclosure on what data they agree to share with whom and how they control it. And putting it on SLMs, we can actually put it in your own discretion that you can say, okay, none of the Chrome-based solutions can have my ID number or whatsoever thing. Um, I'm just giving an example. You can
Okay.
say that none of the, uh, I don't know, like internet connected solutions should be able to receive an uploaded document. You can control all of these things. And that's in your own discretion. You control it, not the application saying that what you can or what you cannot. But you set it up for yourself and you assign it different fidelities for each one of your, leadership level, mid-level, senior level, as well as junior, early entry level position. Like you can put a very low level thing to your senior and extremely high level one to your intern. Um, and that's very big. I, that's where my conviction personally is at, that we need to give the decision to every company on them deciding where they send what data and how that is being processed.
So tell me, with that's that's a great concept at a personal level, but when you look at AI security trends, especially with the adoption, right now the buzzword is agentic AI. How is what you're doing fitting in with that? And where do you see security trends going?
So let's step a little step backward on that 96% failure comment that I gave.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Whatever the cybersecurity environment that we are going to be operating in, we are going to be seeing some sort of a pyramid setup. That pyramid setup is always going to be the data asset at the very bottom, depends on what environment that you are having.
Sure.
Then you put some sort of technology on top.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that technology, you put some sort of processes, workflows in AI environment. And then you give access to the traditional speaking people. Now let's call it users, because there are not two different types of users. One is flesh, organic, and the other one is machine, agentic. So agentic environment is just like a human being. We don't believe that you should actually be treating them very differently. In fact, if you are treating them differently, you are playing with fire, because sooner or later you'll see that there is a harmonicness between human and machine operations, which is already happening right now. So we give a gateway proxy environment to both of the user types. It goes underneath that the policies are being assigned. We literally treat those agents as a user type, the same way that we would, like in Polygraf as an example. I'm a person, but I have multiple user types. I have a user type as a contractor when I'm working with certain contract environments. I have a user type as a C-level when I'm operating internal for Polygraf. I have a I have a user type specifically for my board advisory positions that I'm on, like I mentioned some of those. So each one of those things have different kind of policies assigned to them, what I can and what I cannot do. And the same user types are being wrapped into those agentic environment. We take the base URL and assign the additional policies on it and make it run. That's it. It actually is a lot more easier to define what agent is going to be doing than a human is going to be doing. Because agentic environment, you have preset rules that you're running it on the workflows and so on. At least that's the world today.
And that's ever evolving. I mean,
Yeah.
and that agent could get quote unquote smart enough where it may say, well, this task I can't do within this boundary condition, so I'm going to go outside of my boundary conditions.
But if it doesn't have access to it, everything is, remember, there is a firewall between the data.
Yagub, being in the cybersecurity business, I don't believe there's any such thing as data isolation. If somebody really wants access to something, they will find a way to get access to it if they really want it. Now, what is it worth their time and their effort? That's probably one of the biggest bottlenecks. But if you
If there
really
is a
want,
will, there is a way. That's the
there is a
word,
way.
right?
And all
But
human design systems are flawed. I mean, because we're imperfect people. So we cannot yield perfect systems. It's not possible.
there is a but part in there. All the data
Okay.
that's available to AI is all tokenized. It's all anonymized. So even if the AI decides to go rogue and try to do whatever it is behind, it cannot actually break it, because that's why, again, the SLMs cannot be reruled. SLMs are independent solution. They are you cannot, it's not connected. So the LLM cannot prompt the SLM to do something else. These are not Gen AI solutions for it to be tricked for doing something. We've never seen so far any approach being able to pull out something. Human beings are utilizing it. They are trying it. We have never seen anyone. We've had clients before Polygraf. Their HR system data was infiltrated by internal team members to see who was going to be fired, who was going to get what bonus, etc. End of the year. We gave them that solution in November as an example. Since November, we've never seen any single complaint that someone actually managed to attempt it. We have had a case, let me actually put the other way around, a case where we received a complaint from one of our clients. They used our agent as part of their email DLP. We don't provide an email DLP. They just used it independently by themselves, and we said, okay, do it what you want. So in the document uploading, their HR team specifically was sending a document, and Polygraph was not letting it go. And we got a complaint that, oh, your system does not work. It's stopping our HR operations and so on. We had to ask the client to give us basically access to their environment. And if I remember right, their infrastructure was an Azure shop on
Okay.
Microsoft. So we got access to their environment, and access means we join a call and they share their screen. That's what we mean by saying access. And by the end of the day, we figured out that this HR lady was actually intentionally, unintentionally putting company's financial API key behind the logo of the company on
Ooh.
that document. And when the company went through it, they did not see any of these things. They saw a normal document, everything normal, but you know what happens in the PDF environment. It's not just
Yes.
what you see; it's also what is behind. Uh,
Correct.
so our engine was stopping what they were not seeing it, and they were complaining that we were not working. And that's final point that I'm going to be doing. These SLMs are not just the regex activities that we are looking for. I actually am often of a conviction that regex is obsolete. We needed to reinvent that NER, name entity recognition environments, and therefore we introduced the contextual coverage in there. So the system not just looks into what it sees, it actually re-engineers the whole thing, trying to figure out what is going on.
That is
I
very,
I am sorry for making it as if I'm pitching, but this is not a pitch. We really, really seriously believe that the industry need to reconsider defining what AI security is, because there are lots of misperceptions in there that you have to go big, and it doesn't really work like that. And that, or treat it as a traditional cybersecurity issue, as a checkbox, it again doesn't work like that. You need
that
to
won't
be
work.
holistic. What is your AI like nightmare?
Our AI nightmare, and see, we have watered it down so much that we have made sure that it doesn't actually have access to client data. But our nightmare would be, which currently isn't implemented, but would be like someone we see us, an AI powered SOC is becoming so common, right? You get rid of the level one analyst, replace it with a robot, and you hang on to your level. That's the game that's going on in the managed security services place. I mean, you see that when you see those hot deals from CrowdStrike, whatever, $10 a month, and you get this. If you read the fine print, it says AI SOC, not human analyst. The danger we see a lot. Our industry the SOC is replete with false positives. It's part of the nature of the business. Okay. And as you well know, as you've been described as being paranoid, SOC operators are paranoid. They want to know, maybe more so than anybody else, if something's tripped. But the system comes back and it reports there's a problem, but more importantly, then it is able to leak that data to the outside world, which is a huge problem. Because if you have a false positive and then you get out into the public that client X has suffered a breach when there was nothing that's happened, and even if there was a breach, you don't want a robot being able to infiltrate and announce that.
Do you know, Manoj, one statistics I want to throw it at you. Do you know what's the accuracy of NERs today utilized in market to detect email ID?
No, I don't.
That's
What is
less
it?
than 65%. And
Hmm.
I'm throwing something in there because for an ordinary person, when you say email, you're like, okay, there is a username type thing, at sign, and then there is a domain name or something at the end.
Yeah,
But we forget that there are lots of social media handles that starts with an at and so on and so forth,
sure.
or when you're tagging someone. So back to your own comment, false positives and false negatives are very, very important element. The if you remember, I mentioned about um, DLP violation reduction activity. That's a byproduct of ours. We never wanted, and we don't plan to be a DLP solution for anyone. It's just a byproduct. But when you look into those DLP violations in general, many of them are actually false positives. And how do you know which one of, like, it's a noise environment that we are working on. You mentioned about the SOC. In fact, actually, if you send me your address, I'll send you a Polygraf AI SOC.
Okay.
It's a SOC, literally a SOC. And I was talking it, and I'm looking around. It's like bylaws and so on and so forth in a SOC provider coverage. And I'm like, who read this thing? It seems like to your words, no one really read it. So I actually ended up making a SOC. I'm putting our contract on it. It's on the contract and with a Polygraph logo, etc. on it. It looks really awesome and people love it. But socks are like that, right? You don't end up wearing the same sock all the time. It changes. Your environment changes. You get a hole on it, and then you have to adopt. And that's the main reason why I put it on a real sock. By the way, it's a subliminal message that we are sending. You cannot think that your sock is gonna be complete and set forever. Sooner or later, you gotta change it.
If you're not changing that on a daily basis, because the threat landscape is changing on a daily basis, then you're doing something wrong. That's all I'll say about it without getting into the details of our
Amen to
vulnerabilities. But,
that.
you know, uh, there's no way you can have a static SOC operation. It's not possible.
Do you know that you can get hacked on your AI operation with nothing but emojis? Has
Please
that ever
tell us a little bit about that.
there is I have if you're listening here, like, please type my name online and like emoji hack attack. There is a write-up that I've done recently on that side. Pakistani hackers figured out a methodology on how to send basically emojis to certain chatbots that triggers basically an a prompt type something. As an example, they end up sending two key item, the key emojis, and then putting a skull sign and a grave sign, the emojis.
Yeah.
Basically means that kill the kill the key, and the agent actually executes it. And those are some of the things that we are not really still comprehending. I'm trying to use the correct word. We don't really comprehend properly what the Gen AI can do, because you can even put Morse code on it with the dots. It will be able to comprehend. It's been trained on it. You can put emojis. It will be able to comprehend what it is, or guess to comprehend what it is. So you have to really think about, like, what does really data mean in that environment. If you're just talking about data as human being, uh, that's gonna be, I'm sure you've seen in certain places the sneakers on the power lines in certain places that are
Yeah.
in there. Those are not something in there for the sake of it. They are not accidental. They actually are certain criminal activity going on in that location, and they are signaling it. So AI is just like that. These tools can make sense out of hidden messages as well, and the socks, etc., need to be adopted accordingly. And every day we figure out something new. Every day there is some sort of a new breach. If we were to just wait for a patch come in 6 months, the world would be
Oh,
uh,
I don't think the candle has even been lit on how an LLM can be used for mischievous activities, to be polite. I mean, there's so many ways to jailbreak these things and force them into doing actions or providing you data, as you already mentioned earlier, that if you're good at it, you can engineer quite a effective cybersecurity attack. I mean, think about it. You have a model here that can do everything. I can have it scan the entire LinkedIn profile of a company, every employee, figure out their Facebook pages, figure out what they like, what they don't like, craft very specific messages, embed very specific triggers into that, enhance the likelihood of them opening things. I mean,
with nothing. With nothing, we have had a case study. I'll tell you this, by the way. We used to look at the online reviews and so on. So we studied online Amazon reviews of people,
okay.
and we just looking into their online reviews, we were able to map out the family, their income stream, where they live, what sort of things that they like, and so on. And imagine what you can do with such an information, overall speaking. And we did it with just one person in the team for fun. Uh,
There's some things I could tell you about off air. You know, that are really interesting. Um, but
so
I
we
don't
end
want
up
to put them out.
actually leaking data everywhere. The
Yeah, you
data,
could leak.
the cat is
You're
out
leaking
of.
more data about yourself. Most people are leaking more data about themselves than they realize. I'm sure even I'm guilty of it. But it's kind of the convenience. You know, whenever convenience meets security, convenience usually wins. That's the human nature part of this. But
Yes,
by the
sir.
way, we're at the final minute here. I want to make sure we give you some time here to plug anything you'd like to plug and let our audience know about.
I think we plugged a lot of information here. My main thing is I want to work with you all if you can. And if what we've discussed today is relevant, my team, all our PhDs, all our researchers, etc., are here to work. You can reach out to me on Yagub Rahimov on LinkedIn, or we have basically my calendar is actually connected on our website, the contact us section. You can actually go book a meeting directly with me. I'd love to work with your own organization and bring more security to more enterprises and government groups all over the nation.
And Yagub, one question for you before we go: is your organization geared just to work with enterprise companies, or can small and medium businesses have a play in your organization?
We are tinkering still right now, piloting actually with certain small, medium-sized operation size. We are actually further simplifying our pricing and everything else.
Okay,
In the past, we were not. This answer would be no, but as we go further and grow further, we are opening more opportunities for SMEs as well.
great. Because we get a lot of listeners who are from that market sector. So just wanted to make sure
And
that.
we also work with lots of researchers right now. If you're a student and working on AI security, data security, and so on, we have programs on it. If you're a startup, you built your own AI solution for insurance or banking or something like that, and you need a data security, please reach out to us. We have a startup program on that side to really invest in your own organization as well. There are lots of activities behind the scene that we are doing. Polygraf is growing crazily right now, and we are grateful for our. I mean, our growth is majorly driven by the successful clients and the partners that we've had. We'd love to partner with more.
Sounds fantastic. Yagub, glad you came on this show. It's been a pleasure having you, and you're welcome back anytime if you want
Thank you
to.
so much. I appreciate you.
Take care. This was a great conversation.